Today we're going to TeamLab Planets in Tokyo. Earlier this year they opened a huge new expansion, so we're going back to see what it's like. I think the expansion doubles the size of TeamLab Planets, so there's lots of new rooms, so I'm looking forward to seeing them. First there'll be a walkthrough with lots of tips along the way, and at the end I'll show you how to get tickets. It's like they filled in a platform. That's really weird. It looks like the tracks used to go here. We're at Toyosu Station. We just came here from Ginza. It was so much quicker to get here on the metro rather than taking the Yurakamome line through Odaiba. I do like the Yurakamome line though, especially when it goes over the Rainbow Bridge. And one time I got such a good view of Mount Fuji at sunset. From Toyosu Station on the metro, it's about a 15-minute walk to TeamLab Planets, or you can go one stop on the Yurakamome line to Shin Toyosu Station, and that's right outside. There are two TeamLab attractions in Tokyo, TeamLab Planets and TeamLab Borderless. Borderless is the permanent one, and Planets is temporary, but at the moment it's until the end of 2027, and they have extended it several times. So I don't know how temporary it really is. I think it might be semi-permanent really. If you're not sure which one to go to, I've written a blog post comparing the two to help you decide. That's on cakeswithfaces.co.uk. The link's in the description. There it is up ahead. We're almost there. We've been walking alongside the Yurakamome line. There's Shin Toyosu Station over there, and TeamLab Planets is right by it. I think actually most of these people are going to a gig. Toyosu Pit is next door, and that's a gig venue. Can't work out what band it is. There's a van there, Japan World Live Tour MSA. Here's Shin Toyosu Station, and the entrance is on this side. We just walked all the way around here. It would have been much better to go this way. Our tickets are for 5 to 5:30, and we're allowed to line up now. I've got a QR code ticket on my phone. There are lots of lockers here before you go into the water section, and they're all free. Oh, it's got a little shelf and a tray for your stuff. Good. And you get a wristband for the key. There are lots of lockers in here, plenty for everyone. Over here there's a section for your luggage if you've got your suitcases with you. There was also storage for umbrellas over there too. We're doing the water section first. I think this is the same as the original version. It's the forest part that's new. If you're planning a trip to Japan, my 300-page guidebook is the book I wanted for my first trip. I also have a trip planning deck to help you plan your Tokyo itinerary. They're from cakeswithfaces.co.uk. The link's in the description. Now back to TeamLab Planets. TeamLab Planets is divided into sections. You can do them in any order you like. We're starting with water. For that one, you have to take your shoes off for the entire section, and then you can put them back on again for the other parts. Quite dark. Here we go. We're going up the waterfall, into the water. It's warmish. And this isn't slippery at all. It's so unusual walking uphill through water. And into the dry again. You get a towel to dry off straight away. Everyone gets a fresh new towel. Thank goodness. I think the ulterior motive of that is to clean everyone's feet at the start, but it's also fun to walk up a waterfall. The floor is so squishy. Is it not bouncy though?
That's squishier than I thought.
They think they got beanbags in. Yeah. I remember this room being darker than this. I'm worried this is going to turn into too much of a feet video. Next is my favourite one, the Infinite Crystal Universe. It's so pretty. This is my favourite one. I could look at it for ages. And for once, I remember to wear shorts because the floor is a mirror. I love this one. You can use your phone to make specific things happen with the lights, but really it's fun to just watch and admire how beautiful it is. All the twinkly lights. It's amazing that this is essentially just a lot of LEDs and mirrors. I've got to say that seeing this on a video on a small screen really doesn't compare to being there in real life, being immersed in the atmosphere, the music, and having it all around you. Into the water is just a slope. The water's a bit milky. I guess that's so you can see the projections on it. Maybe I shouldn't trust my camera strap in here. It looks like it goes on forever when you first go in.
Yeah, the room off to the side.
I think the hidden section's over there.
Shall we go over that?
Yeah, let's have a look. Sorry fish, we're walking through you. Here's the hidden room. Ooh. these droplets of water?
They are, yeah.
Don't touch it. You broke it now. It is water. That is pretty, actually. So you just walk through a fish. The water's about halfway up my calves, and there are some little kids. Some of them are up to their knees. Some of them are up to their shorts.
I'd say it's less than a foot.
Yeah, probably less than a foot. Can you see us in the mirror here? Halfway up the calf.
And we're not that tall.
Yeah, I'm only 5'4". There are lots of little kids here and they seem to be doing okay, except they want to go swimming, I think. If you want to go in the secret room, look for the little map of the room before you go in. When you go in, it's kind of on the right in the corner in front of you. I missed it the first time, so I'm glad we found it this time. TeamLab may seem like it's just for Instagram, but what I enjoy about it is just being in immersive, otherworldly environments that are so different and just playing and having fun. Oh, I thought these ones were tethered down. They're freely going around. Yeah, I think they are. You're stuck, Phil. Ah. Getting squished. There is real sense of motion here. We're in a big dome and the floor is mirrors and there's all flowers and petals moving around on the ceiling. Phil's not a big fan of this room because it can give you motion sickness. If you don't like VR and that sort of thing, you probably won't like this.
It's a bit much.
Phil's coping by looking down. And
So I'm trying to look at the camera. I think I'm normally alright though, but I don't get motion sick normally. But this room and VR, that makes me sick.
I can see how some people wouldn't like this, but you might find it really relaxing. It's the different layers of flowers moving different ways. It's either mesmerising or seasick. I was quite enjoying that. It was quite mesmerising and hypnotic. And now I've just gone to move to find the exit. And walking around is really hard. I'm worried I'm going to fall over or step on someone. That's the end of the water section. We're back to the locker room now. That's not the end of the whole thing, so we've still got the other sections to go. But we can get our stuff and put our shoes back on. It looks like you can choose which one you want to do next, in which order you do everything, which means you could do them more than once if you wanted to. So now we're in the garden section. You can see steam between all these things in the moss garden. You can touch them, right? Blub, 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 blub. They do need sound effects, definitely.
Well, they do. Make sounds. Listen.
All these flowers are live orchids that can grow without soil. When I came here before, they moved people in and out of this section in batches, but now you can stay as long as you want.
It's a bit weird being in the middle of them. Again, the floor's a mirror in this one. They did have rental skirts available. Now we can't find the exit. We're trapped in by flowers. We're stuck in here forever. Let's go to the forest, which is the expansion.
It's in two sections, the athletics forest and the catching and collecting forest.
They said if you're wearing heels or sandals, you have to change into their rental shoes. So best to do is just wear trainers or something comfy. There's more lockers here, free lockers, just so you can put your bags in so you don't have to carry them with you. We don't have to take our shoes off again. That's big enough for 2 backpacks, I reckon. Phil's cleaning up. Dust that off.
In the catching and collecting forest, you can catch creatures from the walls on your phone. Download the app, then you fire an arrow to catch them and see more information about the animals. Then you swipe to release them back into the wild. You can also catch them in a net on the ground.
Maybe.
Trying to catch me in the net. I left my phone in the locker, so I got a rental phone from the desk, and it's all in Japanese. Wow, that's a big ostrich. The forest is beautiful. I love the colours in this. It's like Pandora. It's hard to tell how big this is. There's a mirror there, and the room's divided into several sections.
Quite a lot to collect. There's 53 in the forest and there's 34 in the sea animals.
Wow.
And I think you collect 3 levels of each one.
Wow.
So you could be here for a while.
Yeah, if you wanted to collect them all. That's my net on the floor. Let's see if we can get any of these lizards. Oh, we got one. Let's release it. Now we've come through to the sea creatures section. We're underwater. It's so beautiful. I caught a crab. Let's release it. There's quite a lot of different sections as you walk around. It's a bit of a maze. Most people seem to be clustered together in the first section, but if you walk around, you can find more space. Now we're at the athletics forest, which is another part of the new section.
Everything here is a lot more physical, but there's nothing difficult or particularly strenuous, and you can choose what you want to do.
It's just projections that look like water, it's not really water.
This is obviously great for families, but it's not just for kids. I think as adults we lose touch with enjoying experiences and doing things just for fun. Where else do you get to go on a slide that's like a giant fruit bumblebee pinball machine? If you want to, you can colour in a creature, they scan it in and it comes to life on the walls. I didn't do one this time, but it's really fun. This room was quite busy. There's a much more spacious version at TeamLab Forest in Fukuoka, which also has several other of these rooms, including the catching and collecting forest, and they're all much quieter. There's a video on my channel.
It's like a trampoline, but not mega bouncy. Jumpy, jumpy.
The point of this one is to jump along at the same speed as the planet at your feet. Your goal is to get the planet all the way along to the end.
He's left his planet behind.
In this one, if you step on spheres of the same colour, caterpillars are born, or you could just have fun balancing across the squishy stepping stones.
I walked in and saw this side and then didn't realise that was behind us there. It's kind of disorientating. It's flowing around your feet.
I think this part's supposed to be for kids, but it's fun to play around with. The different objects spawn different things, and you can interact with the projections on the tables and the walls.
I'll have one of them. Or lots of tiny cakes. Apple, cake.
Things are on it now.
Ah, hello. It's like a magic wand. So in the athletics forest, you get a choice about which activities you want to do. You can walk down the middle and all the rooms are to the side. Whereas in the water section, you're going along a trail and you have to go through everything, a bit like when you're in IKEA. It's got dark. The last section is open air, which is the bit you can see when you're queuing up. This does look a lot better in the dark, and the Yurakamome line in the background to complete the picture.
I do think it's a bit of a stretch to call this a new section when it's always been here outside and used to be free to visit, but otherwise the expansion does add a lot and makes Planets a much more substantial attraction.
Emptiness table. Is that an appealing name for a cafe?
For food options, there's the glass house where you can have tea and sake that glow, surrounded by glowing orchids. They're actually orchids from the garden section when they need time out to grow. There's also vegan ramen that you can have indoors at emptiness table in the dark with projections, or you can eat outside. There's also a cafe truck with drinks, muffins and ice cream.
I haven't been in these ones, but I did go in the tea house at TeamLab Borderless, and that was a really good experience actually. You can only get into the cafe and vegan ramen uzu if you have a ticket for TeamLab Planets. You can't get into it otherwise. Here's the queue. Once you get to that section, it's covered, but this first section is just open outside. It moved along fairly quickly, it didn't seem terrible. So that was all of TeamLab Planets. I really enjoyed that, even though I've done a lot of it before. I enjoyed going around again, and it's interesting to see how it's different from the previous version. It is a really big expansion, and it has some of the parts from the old TeamLab Borderless that was upstairs, mainly the athletics forest, although it feels like it's on a smaller scale here. The layout's completely different from how it used to be at TeamLab Borderless. Top tips for TeamLab Planets are don't wear a skirt because there's a couple of rooms with mirrored floors, and for the water section it's better if you're wearing shorts or trousers that you can roll up. There's also a couple of rooms where you can't wear high heels or sandals or flip-flops. They do have rental shoes if you do, but it's better to just wear a different sort of shoe. They've got lockers for all your stuff, and the lockers are free. You can go back to them as much as you want to, so you can do everything in whatever order you want to. In the water section you go around a trail, so you have to do one room after the other. Although I know if you do have accessibility issues, you can skip the rooms if you ask the staff. Something some people have commented on about TeamLab Planets is that it smells bad, especially in the water section, or that it smells of feet. and that would be horrible, but I didn't think it smelled of feet at all. There was a light chlorine smell, a bit like you get at the swimming pool, which I think is just chemicals to keep the water clean. It wasn't even that strong. Everything seemed perfectly clean. In the dry sections, I saw the staff going around sweeping up, so there's nothing that could hurt your feet. They were sweeping up leaves in the room with the flowers, so I wouldn't have any concerns about that. We'd seen some people saying online that in the water sections they'd seen it peeling off around the edges, or it looked a bit mouldy around the edges, and I don't know if they've done some renovations since then, but we didn't see anything like that at all. And we generally notice when things don't seem clean. For example, on the plane. So I think we would have noticed if it wasn't okay. I bought my tickets a couple of days ago online. It's the start of June at the moment, and we're here on a Sunday, so the weekend, which I guess would probably be busier. When I bought my tickets, most of the tickets for the morning had sold out, so tickets for later in the day were available. So if you want to go in the morning, consider buying your tickets earlier. The TeamLab website is really good. If you start going through the booking process, you can see how many tickets are left, so you know whether you need to buy them now or whether you can leave it for a bit. I'm guessing it's at full capacity because they do limit numbers with how many tickets they sell, and it's quite busy, but it wasn't too bad. There were some points where we didn't have anyone else around, but then other points where it was quite crowded, especially in the waiting areas in the athletics forest, and in the catching and collecting forest everyone seemed to be clustered around the start, but there's loads more if you carry on. We spent about 2.5 hours going around TeamLab Planets, and we have done it before, so maybe we spent a little bit less time than we would have if it was the first time. So think about how quickly you tend to go around things, but I'd say about 2 to 3 hours probably.
Check out my blog post if you're not sure whether to go to Planets or Borderless, and I really would recommend TeamLab Forest in Fukuoka if you get the chance. And I'll see you next week with more Japan videos every Thursday.